G'day. I'm Trent Lewis. I'm from Flinders University, and our team has been investigating artificial intelligence and talking heads for the past 5 years as part of a special research initiative funded by the government called From Talking Heads to Thinking Heads. And the idea here was to develop more realistic, engaging virtual agents on a computer. Okay, but what I'd like to do now is get rid of these slides and have a conversation with you guys. So we all know the power of a conversation, a face-to-face conversation. If you want to get a message across, want to make a sale, a face-to-face conversation is the way to go. But in today's technological world, most of the communication that happens is via email, Facebook, even Twitter. So we've been reduced to conversations in 140 characters because in a tweet, when it first started, it was constrained by the size of an SMS message. Right? Can't really get a conversation with that. So what I'd like to present to you today is some technology we've been working with that can engage, create a conversation with customers or consumers. Basically, we're creating a new communication channel. Okay, so I put that up, big faces, everyone's attention is drawn to those big faces. But look at me, I'm the one doing the talking here. So this guy over on the right-hand side is Martin. He's the other spearhead as part of this project here. Okay, so if I just have the word faces up on there. Now, you're looking back at me now. So faces are a really powerful communication tool. We're all driven to interact and deal with faces. Back to the black slide. So we've been communicating as humans for 50, 100,000 of years. We've only been communicating or dealing with computers for the last 30 or so. So what we'd like to do is to be able to take that experience that we have in human communication and take that to human-computer interaction. We don't want to take all of the bits of human-human interaction. I don't want to make a virtual agent that's an annoying person to talk to. I want to take the good bits. So when a person looks at you and they smile, you feel happy. Can a computer do that? Yeah. Why not? So what we want to do is be able to take all of this social pressure that a face brings with it. When we talk to people, we have certain feelings, the emotions that we express, and we want to take that and make that into a virtual presence. We want to take our social instinct to interact with a face and use that as a new way to communicate on computing devices, and especially mobile devices. So what you can have here is a new way to manipulate or to have some way to change people's behaviour for the good or for worse, or maybe for marketing purposes. So a really great example of this is a virtual coach. So research has shown that if people are in an exercise regime and they need to log the data that they're doing and plan out for the next week, and they just have a computer and it's a text form and they fill in information, they'll do it for a while and they'll get a bit lackluster about it, and their commitment to it will drop off. Whereas if their interface that they're using is a talking face that can express emotion, it can express happiness, or it can express disappointment in what you're telling it, that they find that people are actually more engaged in that exercise. They're more committed to doing it, and they also tend to tell the truth more. So if they haven't performed and they put it in, it's disappointed, and they're like, oh, okay, next time I'll try harder to please my virtual coach, just like a real coach. So people who have this, in this condition, having the virtual face, expressing these emotions to it, and they'll form a bond, they'll continue with the exercise regime and get healthier. So that's a real positive type of benefit. Okay, so from a business or a marketing perspective, right, so marketers have always known the power of a face and communication. These social cues, these social instincts translate into a virtual face as well. People become engaged with the product, that makes it more memorable, and they're more likely to come back to it. So a good business sort of example is a virtual guide or a virtual sales assistant. So this is where you can't have a human person in every location. So maybe a good example of this is, say, a display village. So a sales consultant might have 3 houses that they have to deal with, but they can't be in every single room. They could have a virtual sales consultant that the person can have in their hand, a mobile device on a mobile phone, walk around that environment. They can ask those questions right there and then. They can interact with a human-like character, so it feels more familiar to them. And so if these customers, if they're more informed, they feel more empowered, then they're more likely to go ahead, and make that choice, make that decision, make that sale. So this isn't just totally vaporware. So we're sort of in the final throes of actually deploying one of these virtual guides as well on a mobile device. So with Android, and we're also concurrently building an iPhone iOS version as well. Okay, so I guess I've said some reasons why virtual agents are really good, but a face-to-face communication, a real human, is the best thing. Why do we need these virtual agents? Well, I guess one is that you can't have a salesperson or a person in every location. If you want to tap into millions of people, you can't have this millions of one-on-one interactions, but with the virtual character, you can do that. What have we got here? So, as I sort of alluded to, when you have a face-to-face communication, whether it's a real person or a virtual character, people tend to be more honest. And they also feel empowered with the virtual agent in that they can stop it. So if it's telling them something, they can stop it. Or more importantly, if they didn't understand, they can ask again and ask a question. So whereas you might find with a real human, they might not keep asking those questions because they feel like they're taking up their time. Whereas in the virtual one, they'll keep asking questions, so they'll feel more empowered. So on the flip side, so from a business perspective, so the people who provide the content to these virtual agents, they can engage with millions of users. And they can just not provide information, but they also get information back. So, aggregate type stuff like Alan was talking about, but you can find out in near real time what users are interacting with, what questions they're asking, what's the most common conversation that they're having. And this is going with people, so this is a mobile implementation. It's with them all the time. They can always ask a question, and you can push new information to them all the time. And what we're really striving towards with this is being able to create a social situation where it didn't exist before. So face-to-face human communication is great, but you can't have it everywhere. And with the type of technology we're developing, you can have that with everyone. Okay, so how it works. So I won't bore you too much with the fine details. So we have an animated speaking character. And you might think to yourself, well, I've seen this. I've seen this in movies, I've seen this everywhere. So with a movie character talking, these things are created on offline. I think someone said just before that to take a 180-second movie segment, it took a year or something. So these things take a long time to create. The things we're talking about is you can push new information and it can be generated and spoken in essentially real time on the device. So it's not just a speaking character as well. It provides conversation content. And we all know about, we just don't want, it's good to have a conversation, even if it's pretty looking, it has to be interesting conversation. And you have to make it fit with what the user's doing. So hopefully everyone might remember Clippy. So a little Clippy from Microsoft, tap, tap, tap. Is that a letter you're writing? Okay, he became very annoying. So what we have is developed is not just a talking character, but a system, a content management system and dialogue management system for delivering conversations. It's not just one-line sort of tweets. These are sort of conversational tweets that you have. So we have a dialogue and content management system. And here's just an early prototype of it on an Android device here. And I have one in my pocket. It's my personal friend in a pocket. So we believe in this. We believe that the technology has the ability to open up a new communication channel as well as to drive up consumer satisfaction. We've spun out a company called CleverMe. One of the principals at Flinders Partners has headed up as the CEO. So that's Tanya over there, one of the other people wearing a t-shirt here. And basically we see a vision here, and we hope that people out here can see many applications for this. And if you can share that vision, creating a social situation where one didn't exist before, then we'd hope that you or someone you know that I want to have a conversation with you about that. Thank you.